Ryan with Geek here, and yep, it is QDX starting overtime, or starting over time, not starting overtime. So I went ahead and pulled all the inductors off, decided to just get that done with. So these inductors are just, well, I could just do this actually. Just kind of put these where from which they came. And then when I need them, I just pick them up. Because these are the ones that are all look the same except for the number of turns. So got that out of the way. Got these inductors loose. That wasn't too difficult. This is the one I screwed up when I installed it. And yeah, so this one's all good to go now. So I'm going to have to just remove some solder. You can see kind of lifted the pads with these, which is no big deal because that board's toast. So it is time to start the V4 QDX that Hans so graciously shipped to me. And what we've got going on here, I've got my old Linux laptop. This thing is not much of a, this is what I love about shop computers. Let's see. I don't even know. I don't use Linux on. Yep. I don't use Linux on the desktop almost ever anymore. Let's see. cat/proc/CPU info. Enter. What have we got here? We have Pentium B980 2.4 gigahertz. That's a Pentium. And free-MH. We've got 4 gigabytes of memory and DF-H. We've got about a 250 gig drive, 200 gig drive, somewhere in there, about two, yeah. Oh, there it says, 219 gigs, so that's 4 minutes down from 250, plus the other partitions. So yeah, about a 250 gig disk. I can't even remember where I got this, but it was free. I remember that much because it's my favorite price. Type the old exit. Anyway, so I've got the QDX manual 1_15, which is for revision 4. Let's see. Just so y'all know I have the right one here. Oh, come on. Let's just do the old, no. There we go. PCB Rev 4. There we go. Okay. So I'm getting down to the nitty gritty where I start installing things. So I've got a bunch of components in this bag that are also on this screen here, and I'm going to start installing them. So this is actually a really quick build. I don't expect it to take very long. I am going to take my time, however, because last time, I think I might have been just in the slightest rush, and that really cost me. So I'm going to put the phone down, stop videoing, and we'll come back when I've got some progress to show. All right, so I've got all the capacitors in, but they're not soldered. I thought I'd show you how I go about it before I solder them in. And I'd probably show this in a different video, but I'm here, may as well show it. First thing I did is I just identified all these, and some of them, the writing on them, especially these blue ones, the writing on them is really hard to see. And so what I did is I took pictures of them through my magnifier here, and then blew up the pictures on my phone, just magnified, zoom enhance until I could see them. That worked pretty good. The rest of them were pretty straightforward to see, so that wasn't too bad. So I went ahead and put them all in before soldering, and to make it easy on myself, I cut the leads pretty short. One of them I cut too short and kind of had to use my my flush cutters to push them side to side, but so that they would stay. But yeah, they're all just loose in here. These I didn't cut very short at all. Oh, this one I did, but these 3 of these were loose. You can see this one here is shorter, and that's because I cut it from one of these cardboard pieces here. So now it's just time to solder these in, and then on to the next step. The next step is going to be the diodes, which won't take but a couple minutes. After the diodes, the inductors, that will take another 2 or 3 minutes. And then the PA transistors. So, and then we're into inductors. So I'll come back when we're done with those. Okay, we're further along, and you can see all the little tiny these inductors are in, these pre-wound inductors. All the capacitors are in, all the diodes are in, facing the correct direction. There we go. And the BS170s are in. I did have a mishap with the BS170s. I dropped the bolt that goes through from the bottom. So I went to go grab that bolt off of my other board and promptly dumped all my inductors off of it. So I'm just gonna have to count the inductors and make sure that they're the correct ones when I put them in. Not a big deal. So the next step that I've got to do here is going to be installing T1. Now I've already got it wound because it was on the previous radio. So I'm going to get this installed, and to do that I'm going to clean these up here and install them. So I'm going to work on inductors here for a little bit, and then probably going to stop after I get like the next couple of big ones in. But one thing I wanted to mention here is it's nice to have these all uniform. You can see the wound into the pre-made inductors there. They all have the gold stripe or the yellow stripe at the top, and all the I just got these as uniform as I could. And of course, my trick for installing the BS170s is to clamp them down first and then solder them and then trim. So anyway, that's where we're at. I'm trying to be very careful with this. I do not want to mess this one up. This is just such a beautiful, fun kit to build. And the nice thing is it's kind of paint by numbers. You just plug things in where they go and follow the directions, and you're going to have a working radio. Keep in mind, every single one of these boards is tested before it leaves QRP Labs. That's a big deal, and I'm really appreciative of that, because I know if there's a screw up and it's not working, I know it's me. And frankly, it always is. It always has been. Anyway, so we'll continue here. Okay, before I solder in this inductor, which is T1, I want to go over what I did wrong before and what I'm doing to make sure I don't get it wrong this time. So I wound it correctly last time, but what happened was I believe it was this lead right here didn't actually make it all the way in. I thought I had soldered it in and I didn't. And so what I've done just now is I've went ahead and inserted all these here, and then I flipped it over. Sorry, this is blurry, but here's one side of it, and each of these leads comes to one of the center ones, and then these two are another winding. So here you have one winding that's center tapped, and then the other winding. So I forget which one's primary and which one's secondary, but the instructions do bear that out. But what I've done here, maybe this is a little bit better lighting and better focus. What I've done is I've made sure that each of those is poking out, and that particularly that all of them are all of them have the correct conductivity between them. In other words, the two on the left side and the two in the middle on the right have conductivity or continuity rather, and that the two on the outside on the right, it's going to be this one and this one. Those have continuity, and the other three have continuity and nothing else. So that's the correct thing. So I'm going to go ahead and get these soldered in and move on. All right, so I've been working at this for, let's see here, I guess it's been about 2.5 hours. Started about 8 p.m. It's about 10:20 p.m. rather. And mind you, all the inductors were pre-tinned and already cut to length. So what I would do to get these in, since I couldn't, like tie the leads together or something like that, twist them together, is I would put it in and then use my tweezers to hold one lead and flip it over and solder that lead, and then flip it over again and get the other lead in with the tweezers, and then solder it in, and that worked really well. This one went in. This is a multi-tap transformer T or L12. That one went in a little bit troublesome, but just kind of persnickety, finicky, whatever. This one went in pretty much straight away. What is that? T2 went in very, very quickly. That was dead simple. So this just kind of flew together. This is a really simple build. The hardest part about all these is winding the inductors, which were already done. So it was just a matter of moving the inductors over to this board, which I did. So what's next? Well, the power up. But that's not this video. No, this video is just about getting this rebuilt and doing it carefully. And I did not work quickly. I took my time. And by the way, that sound you hear, that's my Innova 3320. I've been using this for several years now. I did a blog post on it, and these were $20 when I bought it. Now they're about 30. Inflation, yay. Worth every penny. This is actually a really good multimeter. The switch is finicky sometimes, but they all get that way unless you spend a whole lots of money. But it's a really good multimeter, guys. If you're looking for a multimeter for doing this stuff, just for checking for continuity, checking some basic parts values, voltages, the usual stuff. It also does pretty good for checking current, which is, when I bought this thing, it was for my BitX 40. I think that was in 2017, actually. I bought it for my BitX 40 to measure the current for the drive current for the IRF 510 and the bias for it. And so I set the bias to, I think it was 100 milliamps. This was super, super accurate compared to a Fluke 77 that a friend let me borrow. So I trust this thing, and it's a good deal. I'll put a link down below if you want to get one. Anyhow, so this thing is pretty well done. The next thing I've got to do is power it up, make sure there's no magic smoke. I'm going to be using a battery pack to do that. And then I'll be plugging it into USB. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this laptop or if I'm going to take it into the house and use my desktop computer. Haven't really decided what I'm going to do for a computer out here. I think I'm probably just going to be using my laptop, but again, I'm still getting moved in. I haven't really figured out everything that I'm doing out here. And this is, of course, this is out in my garage, so a little bit different than I'm used to. And I don't have any spare monitors. I got rid of all my spare monitors, so I just put my third monitor up at my workstation. So if I want to put a computer out here other than this laptop, I need a spare monitor. Or I can bring my Windows laptop out here, which is probably what I'll end up doing, because my Windows laptop, it will work perfectly with JS8 call and FC8. So anyhow, that's it. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate all the followers as we creep toward the 1,000 mark. It's really a neat thing. I haven't really worked hard on this channel as far as building it goes. I just keep trying to put out videos as I can. So for everybody who's following along, thank you very, very much. So that's it. We'll take care, and we'll see you next time. Hopefully in the next few days, I'll be able to have time to power this up and make sure that it works, and maybe even get on the air. My antenna is not optimal, but I would love to get on the air with this thing. So we'll figure something out. Take care now. 73.